Assembled guests, if you are able, please stand. Her Excellency, the Right Honourable Dame Cindy Keddor, Governor-General of New Zealand.
Takahi te ara tō ngaki ngaki o tō tātou o huri huri nei e. Piki mai, ka ke mai, haere mai rā e te hunga nui te rā nei e.
O te amorangi ki mua o te hāpai o ki mua. Kia tau I hōna mana ki tanga ki runga ki tēnā ki tēnō tāta. He hōnore he kororia he maungāra mo ki runga ki te mato te whenua he whakaaro pai ki ngā tangata katoa. Aro haena ngā teina me ngā tuakana, e noho nei ki rungi te whakaaro ki tai. Pai mai. E pai tō mātou matu ni trangi. Tēnei te ino I ati ana ki awhia ki a tau I honga mana ki tanga ki roto ki runga I a rātau e noho māwiwi I roto I ngā whiwhipera I roto I ngā kai. Ki au he koe te hao tau wairo ki roto I a rātau ki a whiki te ora ki a whiki te kā. E ino I ati ana tēnei, I runga te ingoa te matua, te tama, te wai I rua taku me ngāne rapono me te māngai e tautoko mai. Ai nei, āki nei, ai.
Kia ora everyone, please be seated. E ngā mana, e ngā reo, e ngā iwi o ngā hau e whā, tēnei aku mihi mahana ki o koutou katoa. Nau mai, hara mai, ki te whare kāwana o Tāmaki Makaurau. Kia ora mai tātou katoa. Distinguished guests, it is my pleasure to welcome you all to Government House for today's investiture ceremony. I'd like to specifically acknowledge Mr. Joe Harawira, our kaumātua, and Ms. Puhi Wahine Tipu, our kuia. Hosting investiture ceremonies is one of the most important duties I perform on behalf of His Majesty the King of New Zealand. I'm delighted to bring together such an extraordinary group of New Zealanders. You have each brought pride and a greater sense of well-being to Aotearoa New Zealand through your outstanding achievements and your service to our communities. On behalf of all New Zealanders, I extend my sincerest thanks to you for your contributions. After each recipient is honoured, I invite you to join with me in congratulating them. Mr. Ward Carmel will now summon the recipients and read their citations.
Your Excellency, to receive the insignia of an Officer of the New Zealand Order of Merit, Mr. Opie Boson of Tuakau for services to thoroughbred racing. Opie Boson, Ngāti Whakaue Rangi Wewehi, is a leading New Zealand jockey. He has won 91 Group 1 races in New Zealand and others internationally. His wins include the Karaka Million 6 times, Auckland Cup, Australian Oaks, Australian Caulfield Cup, Australian Derby, Singapore Derby and Singapore Gold Cup. He broke the record for New Zealand Group 1 race wins in 2019 when he achieved his 63rd win at the New Zealand Stakes at Ellerslie. His 128 season wins have placed him as the current top New Zealand jockey. He began as an apprentice jockey for Te Akau Racing and has since been Te Akau's senior stable rider during the most successful period of any stable in the history of New Zealand racing. Mr. Boson has tutored young and aspiring riders. Mr. Opie Boson, please come forward. Dr. Joyce Cowan of Auckland for services to midwifery. Well, Dr. Joyce Cowan registered as a midwife in the 1970s and has provided community and hospital-based care throughout South Auckland. She is a leading expert in preeclampsia, a condition that threatens the health and life of mothers and babies. She co-founded the charity New Zealand Action on Preeclampsia, NZ APEC, which has contributed to New Zealand's low perinatal mortality associated with preeclampsia. She introduced and currently leads the Growth Assessment Program, GAP, which has resulted in improved detection of smaller babies during pregnancy and a reduction in stillbirths. While a senior lecturer at the Auckland University of Technology Midwifery Department, she published her doctoral thesis on the effect of implementation of GAP in counties Manukau on maternal and neonatal outcomes. Dr. Cowan has presented her research findings at several conferences. Dr. Joyce Cowan, please come forward. Mr. Peter Walters of Auckland for services to touch rugby. Well, Peter Walters, Te Rarawa Te Aupauri, has coached, played and developed touch rugby all over New Zealand and across 31 countries, raising the profile of the sport and developing skills, knowledge and resources. He is the founder of Galaxy Touch Club, established in Auckland in 1987, which is the largest touch rugby club worldwide with more than 120 teams in 30 cities and 14 countries. He is the most capped player in touch rugby, representing New Zealand in 9 World Cups and winning 3. He has been a member of 35 winning national championship teams with 20 consecutive gold medals for Auckland. Mr. Walters has received the Coach of the Year and Tohu Motuake awards at the Māori Sports Awards and a Lifetime Achievement Award from Touch New Zealand. And Mr. Peter Walters, please come forward. Your Excellency, to receive the insignia of a member of the New Zealand Order of Merit, Ms. Kendall Collins of Auckland, for services to youth. Well, Kendall Collins is a social worker and CEO of Sisters United New Zealand, which she co-founded with her sisters. The organisation develops young Pasifika women leaders through dance, music, spoken word and art. It launched the mentoring program Young Queens and Crown Yourself for young women, as well as Brothers United for young men, with 700 young people graduating the program each year within 27 schools in New Zealand. These programs equip young people to build resilience and combat issues such as bullying and negative body image. The schools-based programs have developed into a youth employment program, Connect, which places disengaged young people into employment and other educational pathways. Ms. Kendall Collins, please come forward. Ms. Maggie Eyre of Auckland for services to business and the community. Maggie Eyre is an expert in personal presentation skills and leadership motivation. She has trained and coached senior executives and officials at KPMG, Fletcher Building, ANZ, Vodafone, Air New Zealand and others. She has been a performance coach, trainer and business development advisor with Auckland University of Technology. She was the presentation skills trainer and media advisor to former Prime Minister, the Right Honourable Helen Clark. She has written 3 books on public speaking and has been a board member of several charitable organisations. She helped grow the Auckland-based Theatre Corporate Resource Centre and School of Performing Arts Centre. Ms. Eyre was a member of Women in Film and Television. Ms. Maggie Eyre, please come forward. Your Excellency, to receive the Queen's Service Medal, Mr. Jeffrey Clues of Auckland, for services to the arts and the community. Well, Jeffrey Clues was president of Company Theatre and helped establish the Rose Centre Community Theatre in Belmont. As chair of the North Shore Theatre and Conference Centre Trust, he led the campaign to fund and build Takapuna's Bruce Mason Centre. He helped establish Q Theatre in Central Auckland. He was chair of the Auckland Foundation, a director of Regional Facilities Auckland, and chair of Arts Advocates Auckland. He chairs the Sir George Eliot Charitable Trust and is on the advisory board of the Kiwi Maya Charitable Trust. As a lawyer, Mr. Clues has acted pro bono for several organisations. Mr. Jeffrey Clues, please come forward. Mr. Richard Dunkerton of Whangarei for services to swimming. Richard Dunkerton started coaching at the Bay of Islands Swimming Club in 1976. He was appointed president and was coach at the club for more than 20 years. He has held various positions with the Northern Swimming Association for more than 40 years, including president, secretary, and selector. He continues as a swimming coach and examiner for the association. He has arranged training camps and organised tours for Northern swimmers to train in a supportive team environment. He is head coach with the Bream Bay Swimming Club. Mr. Dunkerton has trained parents of swimmers to become involved in officiating. Mr. Richard Dunkerton, please come forward. Your Excellency, to receive an Honorary Queen's Service Medal, Tui Fa'asisina Maria Lafayette of Auckland for services to Pacific Health. Tui Fa'asisina Maria Lafayette works with Te Whatuora, Te Tokatū Mai Auckland and Waitemata as a project manager for planning, funding and outcomes. She has been the Pacific Careers Consultant for the University of Auckland. During the COVID-19 pandemic, she led operational, policy and service delivery problem solving for the Pacific Vaccination Program. She disseminated messaging on the virus and health guidelines through Pacific-led podcasts and radio stations. She advised church and faith leaders, health experts, Pacific health providers, community and youth groups. Ms. Lafayette is now Interim Director of the National Office of the Pacific Health Director. Tui Fa'asisina Maria Lafayette, please come forward. Your Excellency, the investiture has concluded.
New Zealand's honours system is our highest public affirmation of outstanding individual achievement. It reinforces those things that make our society better: service, manaakitanga, and the pursuit of excellence. To our recipients, it has been a privilege to hear your stories. You have each used your talents and abilities to improve the lives of fellow New Zealanders. Martin Luther King spoke about the importance of such service when he said, "Not everyone can be famous, but everyone can be great, because greatness is determined by service. You only need a heart full of grace and a soul generated by love." I urge recipients to wear your insignia with pride at every opportunity, knowing that you inspire others by your example. On behalf of the King of New Zealand and all New Zealanders, I congratulate you on your achievements and I thank you once again for your service to our communities. Kia ora, uhui mai tātou I tēnei rā. Now you will see on the back of your program the words to the national anthem in Te Reo Māori and in English. I now invite you to stand with me and join in singing the national anthem.